guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on REN's Day, and this one is an interview with REN. It's an exclusive interview. It's called Under the Spotlight. I wanted to do this because a lot of people have been asking me to do the documentaries, or like when I did the Twitch stream one the other day, the people were saying do more interviews. So I found this one. Let's check it out. The interview is from a channel called Scott Sports. So if you've not subscribed to him, go and subscribe to him because they've brought us this interview. Right, okay. Let's see what Ren's got to say in this one. I'm intrigued.
Hey guys, I'm Sam. I'm here with my boy Ren, and I'm going to be speaking today. Can you not say yo? Because it's really thrown me off. It's really thrown me off. Sorry.
Ren, take one, scene one.
Hey guys, I'm Sam. This is my boy Ren, and we're going to be speaking today.
Yo! Dana, well done it again.
One, scene one.
Hey guys, I'm Sam. This is my boy Ren, and we're going to be speaking today for Scott's Menswear. So Ren, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going all right, mate.
Been
Bit cold. Bit
yeah,
chilly.
been a bit of a terrible year, hasn't it?
It's been such a bleak start.
But it's true though.
You
can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. It's the facts. Yeah, sorry for getting deep, but I mean, that is the case.
Yeah. We are in pandemic.
Would you say that's like affected your, I don't know, like your musicianship at all? Has it affected your creativity?
It's weird. I think we just all adapt, don't we? Like to what comes. So like, yeah, in the sense that we're not out busking all the time. I'm not busking with you. I'm not busking with the boys. I'm not playing shows. Like that is basically like the main thing that feeds you as a musician. But then you just have to change what you're doing. So I'm like writing a lot more at home, going to the studio a lot more. Yeah, it's just kind of that. You just kind of take what it is. It's so weird how something as big as this gets normalized. It's made me like realize so much how we take for granted just being able to see somebody. Because
that was a big thing during the pandemic. The fact that your freedom was almost taken away from you, and you took everything you did every day, like go to the supermarket or I don't know, go to town, driving around. It was all taken away, saying you have to stay at home. And obviously with him being in the music industry and trying to make music and busking and whatever, and he couldn't do it anymore. You know, his life changes, and like everyone else's life changed. He stayed at home, and it was weird. It was almost like you look outside and it was like The Walking Dead. It was strange.
it made me like realize so much how we take for granted just being able to see somebody. Because never in a million years would you imagine a situation where you can't go and give like your family love when something like that happens.
It's like if you told me, like, this is a classic line, I'm sure everyone said this, but if you told me last year that that would have been an eventuality that I would have had to deal with, or you would have had to deal with this year,
our lifetime.
like even in our lifetimes, at any point before last March, I would have gone, you are absolutely having a laugh, like no way, like, because like what could come about and do that to us? But it's the case. So do you think
it was a very, very surreal time, wasn't it? Everyone was panicking. Everyone was walking around with masks on. Everyone was like, someone coughs and everyone scatters. Do you know what I mean? It was like everyone had the fear of God in them.
That with everything that's happened, the way you approach music, and like over the last 6 months, because in this country we've been like, it's been very up and down, our situation. Do you think that your music reflects the time that you made it in, or do you think that it's more like you wanted to avoid that and just make something that's really special that can last forever and can be in any time?
I think for me, like
It's yes and no.
Yes and no, because
And the reason I think he said that is because some of his music sounds almost medieval. Some of it sounds like what people have said. He sounds like a bard. He sounds like a poet. Sounds like someone from a different generation brought forward into somebody else's body who's younger, and that's how it feels to me on some of his music. I mean, some of his music, like his rapping and stuff, is in this generation, but I mean, like the Tale of Jenny and Screech, that is so old worldy. It's brilliant.
And can be in any time.
I think for me, like yes and no, because I had like you know this, because I was like really, really sick with Lyme disease for like 8 years. I spent the majority of those 8 years in a bedroom anyway, like locked inside a bedroom. The only difference with this time and then was then I felt horrible. I felt like I had all these really bad symptoms. I was feeling terrible all the time. So a lot of my writing during that time was about being in isolation with an illness. And this time it's like that's why I was like, it was like, I'm feeling great. Yes, I'm gonna go back to the real world. It's like, nah,
back in the room.
Like,
oh my God! So it coincided with COVID. He started feeling good again, and then COVID hit. And he had to go back in his room. Wow. Okay. It's like, you know, he couldn't win. Just couldn't win.
feeling great. Yes, I'm gonna go back to the real world. It's like, nah,
Back in your bedroom.
Oh, cool
Shit.
life, thanks, man.
Yeah.
But like, so like, but now it's a different situation because I'm in isolation, but I have a fully capable body. I'm not suffering with all these symptoms all the time.
Good.
So it's like a different thing. But like, writing wise, it's like a lot of my work has been quite centered around that, around like feeling kind of like isolated and cut off.
See, the thing is, even though he's feeling better at this moment in time, and he's getting better because he's had so many operations, etc., to make him better, he can still draw off that 8 years experience many years later, because 8 years is a long time to be suffering, isn't it? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I suppose when he gets out of it, he'll write more uplifting songs like Bittersweet Symphony. Now that Bittersweet Symphony felt like, I love life. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm walking around in Britain. Britain's my place, etc. And it was all a very, very big positive message, etc. And obviously, when you see like High REN and stuff like that, he's like the sickness and like sick boy. You know what I mean? It's like the sickness again. It's but you know, he can always draw back to that.
And there are so many people that are going through those chronic illness things
Yes.
that need to hear that there are stories of people that are moving past it, because like when I was in
100%.
it, all I wanted to do was seek out stories of people who had gotten better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like that's what
Of course.
made me feel like
Motivated.
it was worth, the life was worth hanging on for, because I was
Yes, because if other people are getting better, and he's looking for that reassurance that people can get better from certain conditions that he's got the similar symptoms as, then that's the motivation for you to keep, like you say, going to the hospital, not giving up. You know what I mean? It's I totally get that. Totally.
what made me feel like
Motivated.
it was worth, the life was worth hanging on for, because I was like, oh, so if that person can do it, then maybe I can do it. And like now that I've gotten to a place where I'm like, not only gotten out of this like nightmare that I was living in, but also then managed to build somewhat of a successful career for
Man, you've
myself.
done
It's
so
like,
well.
I would like that to be reflected, rather than me just still writing songs about isolation. Like, I'd like that to be reflected
Facts.
and bring a bit more of a message of hope and stuff.
course.
'cause
Yes.
but yeah, like you're saying, like you don't have to be sick to listen to it and then relate to it. So
Yeah.
like even at a time like at the moment, like mental health problems have well shot up for people who are just inside all the time. So I almost feel responsible for people who are listening to me to sort of give them something that's a little bit more hopeful than.
That's
just
nice.
like-
That's a nice thing to do, because, like you say, a lot of people's mental health did get affected when everyone had to stay indoors, because being cooped up, it's like being in jail but in your own house or under house arrest. The fact that you couldn't go out, you know, otherwise you'd get arrested because, you know, you're breaking COVID laws, etc. But then if he's changing his style of music to try and help the people who listen to him at that time, you know, it gives them that bit of hope, that bit of happiness in their life, and that's a good thing to do.
listening to me to
He's got such a good
give them
soul. I
something
say
that's
this
a little bit more
multiple
hopeful than
times.
just like I'm ready off about this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I like people who put a positive spin on stuff like that. You know what I mean? Make the best of a bad situation. Try and find the good.
I think that's like really natural as well. It's like when you go through something like that. Obviously, I can't relate, but I've seen what it's done to you as a person, how it's made you grow. And I remember that summer when it was 2018, when we had that summer when everything kind of kicked off for us, like with the blind-eyed stuff. I always thought that was real special to be able to be part of that with you, like, because I remember we were sat in some restaurant once, and we'd just been shared on Instagram by Alfie Days and Zoe, and our Instagram was going mental, like, and we were like, oh my god, and I remember us looking
Shout
at
out,
each other
good.
and going like, this is so sick.
But it was so cool because you were a like busking musician, like started as well, and I knew how much it meant for you. I knew how much it meant for me to be like sat there being like,
Oh look,
things are blowing up for
yeah,
us right now.
yeah.
Like, what?
And then we started seeing the videos, and like all the videos were doing really well. But
Good.
it was more like it was being able
But
to
it was so
experience
good, like,
that
it's-
so by chance, and like all the stuff that had happened, like like all of it was so by chance. Like none of it was none of it was like prepared for.
No.
Literally.
Well, that's what happens when you go busking, because you never know who's going to be watching. And if you're good at your craft, you know, someone will. I mean, if you're good at it, people record you and they whack it on Instagram, this, that, and the other. Someone sees it, who's in a position of power, or, you know, have the following. They put it on, that blows up, everyone shares it, it just goes viral. And these guys deserve it. Absolutely.
So by chance, like none of it was none of it was like prepared for.
No.
Literally, the only thing was prepped was the music video we made for the original version of Blind Eyed that we'd made 2 years ago, but we just sat on that for ages.
And we never really thought that it was going to be like this big.
Never,
thing
man.
that, like,
we just got up one
People
morning
never
and
do.
just decided to go for a busk.
But I think the coolest thing about that was like, if that had just happened to me, it probably wouldn't have been as cool, because like I knew for a fact how much you were striving to make that happen, and you knew for a fact with me, even though I wasn't pushing it, like how much it meant to have come out of this illness, and then like the thing that I've wanted to do my whole life suddenly starts manifesting. So I was like, I had this being like, to see how happy it was making you, and then you to see how happy it was making me.
See, look at that now. Just look at him. He's not taking the plaudits for himself. He's thinking of Sam first. And that's what he comes across as in everything. The way he puts himself forward, the way he puts himself about, is so freaking classy. He's always thinking about other people before himself. It's brilliant.
I had this being like,
very rare.
To see how happy it was making you, and then you to see how happy it was making me. That was well cool.
I remember those times when we'd pull up with our wheelbarrow with the amp inside
Literally
and like
with a
walking
wheelbarrow,
around with a wheelbarrow, but everyone in Brighton would see us and stop us and be like, hey, are you doing the busk later? Yeah, I'm going to come down. And then there'll be like, by the end of the summer, there'd be like 600, 700 people on the street. We'd have the police there having to lock it off. And that felt like, and talking
I remember
about,
there was that day where we turned up because we were always a little bit late. The whole
everyone
street
just looked at us.
was there waiting for us, and there was like no joke, it's like close to 1,000 people.
Wow.
Police on either side of it, and we were like, this is just from an Instagram story that we put up
an hour ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how powerful it became. And like
Internet.
I'll treasure that always, because I think that like as you said, like experiencing that on our own would have been really really cool, but like you wouldn't, it's nice to know that throughout my life, if I ever want to like kind of talk about that, I'll always have someone who literally understands it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if I'd done that on my own and like told it to people, like no one would truly understand or
We'll
appreciate
know that
it.
feeling.
Yeah. You've got a story to tell. You've got a mate who's got the same story to tell, and you're in it together. So that, you know, yeah, I get that. I get that totally.
The industry kind of, I feel like we helped like change things for young. I think a lot of people look at it. I've seen people cover Blind Eyed, like busking and stuff, like people actually
I'm
covering.
gonna have to check that song out.
Being a musician, sometimes it looks like a little bit unattainable, because you've got all these, especially when you've got all these flashy music videos, fancy cars, like people in that has been like a standard of pop music for a while. So
No, because people, everybody now has got a camera. Everybody now can record anything at any time, and people like REN, Tom McDonald, etc., proves that you don't have to have a big flashy video to get your message across and have a good song and have a good shot at it. And it's true. It's what he's saying there is true. Everything's evolving again away from all these videos. I mean, you still get these big flashy videos like Falling in Reverse and stuff like that, because them guys are crazy budget videos. But I mean, other artists, a lot of independent artists as well, still making really, really good videos.
People in that has been like a standard of pop music for a while. So when you see just like a video of two kids out on the street looking a little bit scruffy with a guitar playing it, and then also being able to be successful online, like it makes this all of a sudden makes it accessible. So if you're a kid from like, you know, me, like broke kid growing up, you go, oh cool, I could just do that. All I need to do is grab a guitar and learn, get out on the streets, and I can actually do that. Like I don't have to have this big like flashy show. And I think that's why
the independent scene is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and record labels don't like it.
It went down really well because there was no bells and whistles.
That was it, man. Well, it's been really sick speaking to you, man. I really, really appreciated it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, cool. Sweet.
That was a really, really good insight into the way REN and Sam blew up. The fact that they were talking about the busking, the fact that they're talking about the way, the process, and the fact that they just whack a post out, we're going busking on Instagram, and then 1,000 people turn up and they were late. Walking down the street with a wheelbarrow, you know, that's so working class, if you like. You know, You wouldn't see these big artists walking down a street with an amp in a wheelbarrow, would you? I bet he still does it today. And I wouldn't put it past him, and that's good because he's still keeping yourself relative to the people you grew up with, or the people who are in your bracket, if you like. The fact that he's blown up musically has not changed him one little bit, and that's what I like about him. He's so wholesome, he's so pure, and he's got a great soul. Whoa, what a great little interview that was. Anyway, if you like my videos, then please hit like and subscribe, and I shall see you all on the next one.